Well, I'm not going to get any more sleep for tonight, so I figured I may as well just record the rest of what I was going to say. Sometimes I find it hard to understand how someone else can't understand I'm going to try not to cry in this, okay? Just bear with me. I find it hard to understand um, when I try to be really explicit and articulate, and someone still doesn't understand, and they get mad at me for trying to talk to them. I said I wasn't gonna cry. Shut up. Okay. I find it hard for me as a person to understand how. Okay, I've got my sanity back. Okay. I find it hard for people to understand for how people can't understand other people's plight and for them to get mad at them about it. Like, how can you get mad at someone for how they feel? like, um, it's just so weird to me. I'm just like, how are you mad at me about my feelings? Like, that's just so weird. Anyway, so I tried to talk to a friend tonight, blah, blah, blah. He got really mad at me. Like, he literally got really, really mad at me. Was literally screaming at me on the phone. I was just like, oh my God, this was like such a bad idea. Like, I'm so sorry. Okay, okay, okay. Like, okay, I'm sorry. You don't have to be mad at me about my feelings. It's okay. They're just feelings. Um okay, but I am going to talk about some stuff. Here we go. Probably nobody of importance or nobody of significance will ever watch this. Probably. So, who cares? Here we go. Considering nobody will ever watch it. Okay, so back in. So I went out there for his 50th birthday. Things were great. Like, great. Like, we had a nice time. We fucked. We were loving. We even said I love you a couple times, and it was great. And then we even said like a couple times like you're my one and only and da 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 while we were laying in bed together, blah blah, right? Okay, cool. So then I had a conversation with him where I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this, blah blah. I laid out all the reasons. Like, but it was not a fuck you, I'm giving up. It was just a fucking, like, well, I don't know, you know. So then the idea was we were still together, but he was gonna try to come out the next April. That's what he said. So I left. I got back home. He ghosted me for like a day and a half or a day or whatever. And I was like, Actually, it was like 2 or 3 days later after I left because I was in Hawaii for about 2 days literally like sleeping on chairs in Hawaii. Uh, and then got home to my empty room without my cat and all of that stuff. Because I had to give her up to go out there. Well, that was in August, but whatever, right? I got home, I was alone, yada yada. He's never going to watch this. I know that. He can't confront it. Anyway, so, Jesus, I'm going to go through this. Okay, yes, I am. So, in December, I tried to give him space. I tried to just let him have his space, whatever. However, I could feel him pulling away from me and I could feel the distance. He said that he needed 2 or 3 weeks to, figure out his life and stuff like that, from basically from Christmas or New Year's to January. He later told me in April later that year that in January, possibly December as well, he was downloading dating apps where he was looking for someone else already. And I know that was like a coping mechanism, like looking for someone else, like a rebound, basically. Anyway, but I didn't know about it at the time, but he kept that from me. So then he distanced himself more, and he disconnected from me on the location app, and then yada yada, all that stuff. So that to me was like a, pretty much a big F you. And I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't say that. But, it was just kind of like, ouch. So later, we talked, and then he said, oh yeah, we're done, like I'm moving on. I've moved on. He literally said to me already, like he said on the phone, on a video call, he said in January even, he said, I've moved on already. I was like, moved on to who? He said, no one, just I've moved on. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay. So then we hung up, and then we didn't talk a lot. Like we didn't, talk every day like we used to. But we were still friends, and we, checked in with each other every now and then. One time he checked in with me, and I was doing shit. I was just fucked up. I was like sitting in Starbucks, and I was just on the verge of tears, and like trying to work so hard, but like, oh my God, on the verge of tears, just like, oh my God, and feeling like death. I sent back a joke, and I was just like, oh yeah, everything's great. And then later I was like, actually, I'm so fucked up right now, and like just fucking fuck life, and just, yeah, I'm fucked up. He responded with like very angrily, and anyway, whatever. Then he apologized for that later. We talked later. Anyway, blah blah blah. Long story short, February, yeah, we're like in communication every now and then, kind of a thing. Then March, we started communicating a little bit more. And at this time, I had some plans on how to actually fucking make everything work for him. And I still do have those ideas. Like, I could make everything work for him in his business. I really could. Anyway, but he would hate if I said this, but I'm going to say it because he fucking won't fucking talk to me. Um, so in April, he started saying to me, wouldn't it have been nice if we could have worked it out, blah, blah, blah. And and then he said, because I had told him before, like, I want you to tell me now if you have downloaded dating apps and you're dating other people. I just want you to just give me disclosure. Like, just tell me, just so I know. Okay. I don't, it just, not to micromanage you, just so I know. Okay. That's it. I just want to know what's wrong with that. Anyway, he had already had them. We'll get to that. But in April, he told me, oh, over the weekend, I downloaded some dating apps. Look what I found. Haha, middle-aged fat women. Haha, see this? Look what you've left me with. Haha, so I deleted the apps. I was like, oh, huh, cool. And I was just like, okay. But he said, like, and I was thinking, wouldn't it have been cool if we'd have worked things out? I was like, duh. um, and then we started flirting a little bit after that. So 2 nights that week, we were sexting and getting really hot and heavy. Then that week, anyway, so that Sunday, his Sunday night, he went out on a date. I spoke to him. We video called. I saw him in a dressed up black shirt. I was like, oh, where are you going? Like, looks like you're going out to meet somebody, right? So the next day, he said he was, but he was very evasive about it. And he basically said he wouldn't tell me anything about it or he would disconnect from me. And that was like literally 3 days after he had been sexting with me. And I didn't mention, he had also said that I have a screenshot of it. He had said that he was still trying to figure out solutions for us. And then he went out on a date 2 or 3 days later. Anyway, that kind of upset me a little bit. And I was like, fuck you. You need to tell me about this. So he ghosted me for 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks, probably. I was just like, listen, you need to tell me what the fuck is going on, okay? So he finally eventually talked to me and did admit to me about what was happening. The only reason I am saying this right now is because of what has happened tonight. I was hoping to talk to him this week, like he said he would on the weekend, but of course, he backtracked and, broke his word again. So anyway, so that happened back in July. I don't even know why I'm, in the head on this. I don't know, okay? I'm just saying what happened. That's it. Okay, so that was April. I went through months of really deep, dark depression over this whole thing. Like, fuck, man. Uh, so, like, he flirts with me and, like, really leads me on, and then basically drops me and is dating someone else, like, 3 days later. Like, wow. Okay. Then, won't talk to me for 3 weeks, and then finally tells me. When I finally found out what was actually happening, he'd been on those dating apps back in January. He started them back in January and was going out on dates with people back then, even. And I was shocked. I was shocked. Like, it was worse than like, worse than what I thought. But I was happy to know the truth. However, the next day, after we had talked, I had said, hey, so, like, can we just stay in touch? Like, talk in like a week or something? Is that cool? I did actually want to share the business stuff that, I knew would help him. Just like I told this company that I'm working for, this company you signed up with is a scam, and now they know. Okay, so same thing. Like, I know this stuff will help him. Anyway, so, the next day, he sends me a text and says, I'm never going to talk to you again. Blah, blah. Like, just fucking blah, bullshit, blah, right? I go ape shit. Like, after finding out the truth of what actually happened, and it was so much more extensive, the fact of that text sent me into a tailspin. It would have been fine if he hadn't have blocked me and disconnected from me the next day off of his own. Like, he just sent me this random text, like, I'm never going to speak to you again. I'm blocking you everywhere, blah, 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 whatever. And blocked me everywhere. And I was just like, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you fucking don't. So I sent back a bunch of really mean, nasty texts. I was like, fuck you. You're a fucking piece of shit. And fuck you. So I sent that. Whatever, it is what it is, right? It was bad, Then for months I couldn't get my attention off of what had happened. I couldn't move forward. Couldn't move forward. I tried many things. Meanwhile, he's fucking other chicks. Anyway, fuck you. Anyway, so, I, reached out to try to repair things, just, I don't know, like, I just didn't want to leave it like that after 6 years and, like, so much, like, why leave it like that? Just, like, come on, like, you're, friends with your other exes, like, I'm not, like, some evil person, really, like, I'm actually pretty nice. So, I got this idea, I think in August. I wrote to him on LinkedIn, and I was just like, hey, I'm really sorry I said that, blah, 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 whatever. But really, did I really need to be apologizing? Like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Nope. I didn't actually do anything really wrong. Like, I was still believing in him and, like, loving him and stuff like that. And he cheated on me, basically. Like, literally, like, he's sending me jerk off pictures and stuff. And then, like, 2 days later, dating someone. Like, come on. So, either way, that's like cheating either way to either person. It's just like, don't lead me on and then go be, going on a date with somebody or fucking somebody else like 2 days later. Really? Okay. So then, so he finally made up with me, sort of. Like, he was like, oh, thank you for writing to me and, not blaming me for anything. Really? Really? Like, sure, I took accountability from my side and I said, I'm sorry I said those things about you. I'm sorry. Like, that was literally the only time I ever went off on him like that. Ever. Never, ever before. Like, but I literally went off. I was like, anyway, so then, so we made up. I said, hey, I've got an idea. Coach me and I'll pay you for it. I will pay you. And coach me with my business, please. It helped a little bit. It did, a little bit. So that went on for like 4 weeks or so. So we're going into September, October. Yeah, so we talked in September. It was the month of October was when we did the coaching. Yep. And then I started to, we were getting along, we were talking, it was fun, we're like, he's helping me, blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't think, really. I started to question to myself, like why did we break up? Like, we get along great. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, could you ever, think about, like, we could just, I miss you and I love you, and would you ever, come back with me, kind of thing. He's like, no, I've moved on. I've moved on. Okay, so skip forward 2 weeks. So anyway, so after that, I made this offhand joke, comment, whatever. I was like, I'm recording you. I knew that was a button for him. Like, I knew that because I know him. And I knew it was a button because I had done it before. The only reason was it was for me because he had lied to me before, and I would start to question my sanity and my memory and go, did he really say that? I don't know. So sometimes I would record his conversation and I told him about it before, and he was like, you can't do that. Like, he got really upset with me about that. But I was just like, you do that all the time in your business and never tell people about it. Like, what does it matter? Like, it's just for me, like, so I can check to make sure I'm not saying something incorrect or whatever about what you said or something. Anyway, so I made this comment, and literally, like the second I said that, click, and then he blocked me everywhere, like right away. And I was just like, okay, so that's that. That's all I mean to you. Okay, cool, fine. So I was like, I guess I mean nothing to him. Okay, fine. So I just tried to, it did upset me. Actually, to be honest with you, it made me lose my mind. I didn't even fight back. I didn't fight anything. But all the videos I had hidden on my YouTube channel before, I just went click, whatever, open it up, because it's all true. He doesn't care anymore. It's like, whatever. He doesn't give a shit. Oh well, it's all true. And I just kind of went, well, there's that. Whatever. Who cares? So then 2 weeks later, he writes to me and starts flirting with me. Anyway, one thing leads to the next. I did not play ball, however, but he was very flirty and nice and sweet. And I was like, okay, cool. So you're going to talk to me after this, right? So, no. The next day, he basically said that he was never. Oh, he gave me an excuse saying that he was stressed out in his life and he couldn't talk to me for 2 days. And I'm like, dude, come on. You can talk to me if you, like, you know, okay? If you can't talk to me and you're making excuses, then I'm sorry, but like, you're just fucking using me. I'm sorry, but like, fuck you. Yeah. So, the next day, he, excused himself, said, oh, I can't talk to you. And, I said, well, could you please talk to me soon? So, for the next couple of weeks, he ghosted me. After that, then I tried to get in touch with him this past weekend. He asked me for a picture of my tits, which I think whatever. Anyway, he was casual with me. Said he would talk to me this week. But then ignored me. And then today, when I asked him to give me a time, he basically told me, fuck you, and then blocked me on iMessage. So, I'm going to do another series of this, or like part 3 or whatever, actually describing what he said. I'm still pretty mad and sad and wanting a real conversation with honesty. So there you go.